What it is, people, once again, it's Saturday, not Saturday morning, Saturday evening this particular time. It's your boy, Uncle Fred. I got my main man right here. I guess I should point this way. Right here to
Yeah.
my right, your left. It's my main man, TK. You know what this is. It's our pick'ems for the absolute final weekend of the NFL 2024-2025 season. TK, man, how's it going today, man?
The day in general is great. As far as this week, man, I guess it's just gonna be a farewell to the season for the most part, man. A lot of games that they just for the fun of it. So let's just have fun with it. That
All
type
right.
of game.
That's it. That's it. Man. That's it. We done got down to the last week, man. Last week of the regular season. And you know, just for business purposes and record keeping purposes, they played. We picked on uh, 13 pro games last week and 4 college games last week. And from the pro games, I went 10-3, and TK went 9-4. We pretty much agreed on every game except the Atlanta Washington game. You took the Falcons. I took the Commanders grudgingly, but I just kind of felt they was going to do a little something. And we disagreed on the Green Bay Minnesota game, which I picked the Packers and he picked the Vikings. Good game too. 27-25. It's a good game, man. 2-point game.
Yeah,
It was.
both of those games were really good games. Both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the Commanders game went to overtime.
Mhm.
Um, Jaden Daniels hit Zach Ertz in the end zone in overtime, and I think it was 30-24, if I'm not mistaken, was the final score in that game. So, like I said, and then of course we both missed on the Tankathon games, and I think
Yeah.
I got the Jacksonville Jaguars game right against the Titans. You picked the Titans. And the
Might have
Jaguars.
jinxed them, man. That might have been the plan all along. Who knows?
Yeah, it'd be like that, man. It'd be like that. So that kind of made it where he went 9-4. If he'd have picked the Jaguars, we both would have been 10-3, and pretty much tied on the ones we missed and got all the ones right together and stuff. We missed the same ones and stuff that we missed each other on one apiece. But anyway, it's pretty good. And I think we both went 4-0 in the college games. So.
Yeah.
Because I think we both picked Notre Dame. I think we both picked Texas. I think we both picked Penn State, and I think we both picked what was the other game? Other game slipping my mind right now. Ohio State, because I said I didn't think Oregon could beat them twice. So I think we all picked all those together, and like I said, now one of the games was weird, man. The Texas Arizona State game was weird. I didn't think Texas really should have won that one, but they won it. I picked them. I was happy they won it because I picked them. But I came away saying Cam Scatterboo, not a bad
I
player,
know
man.
what you're gonna say, man. I definitely got to watch the Cam Scatterboo experience. I'm pretty sure there's other people in the world like myself who first time tuning in. Scatterboo pretty good, man.
Yeah. Dude got some heart. Dude got a lot of heart to him, man.
Yeah, he
That dude got
definitely
some
won
heart,
me
man.
over, man. He won me over for sure. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he was a senior, so I'm pretty sure he's coming out right.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I draft him. I don't know about first round, but I draft him. You know, I
well, man,
wouldn't
he
mind
just
having that dude on my team, man.
Scatterboo to Dallas. Let's get it going.
Yeah, hey,
Go.
easy, man, easy.
Let's go.
Yeah, easy, man. Yeah, I like him. You like because I like that dude's heart, man. If I, cause a lot of coaches were saying if I had dudes with way more talent with the heart that dude got, I could win all these games because he's coming at you every play. You know, that's you know, hey,
Yeah, man. He showed a lot of heart, man. I like him. I like him. He was playing hard, man.
you know,
So
them dudes,
some team in like the third round, they gonna get a good one in him. So
yeah, yeah. That's the kind of dude you can build a culture with, man. Because hey, he going that hard. I got to go hard too. This kid
I'll
going hard.
just
Yeah,
no, y'all just make sure he don't end up with a team like San Francisco. Rest of the league gonna hate it.
yeah. I'm because you know what's his name. McCafferty's kind of like you know he threw a pass too now. You know he
Yeah,
threw a touchdown
yeah.
pass too. Like dang gum, dude.
That's one of them dudes, man. You don't want him in the same backfield with C Mac and they running all type of, you know, misdirections and gadgets. It can get real interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
don't
yeah. Let's
nobody
not
want to see that.
get him in the wrong
Yeah,
team's hands here.
yeah. So
All
some
right.
team do us all a solid, man, and keep him away from Kyle Shanahan, please.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, boy.
in Baltimore too. Keep him away from San Fran and Baltimore
Yep.
for the
Yep.
sake of everybody else.
Right. So that the rest of the league got a chance, you know.
All
So yeah. All
right,
right,
man.
man. Let's get down to these games, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a couple of games that's already played. You know, like I said, I had already made my picks before
Mhm.
the games
Yeah.
was played. You know, we know that the Baltimore Ravens was playing the Cleveland Browns earlier today. I was gonna pick Baltimore. Baltimore's favored by 20.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
you know, what I mean, what you gonna pick? You gonna pick Cincinnati? I mean, I said you gonna pick Cleveland when take the points. So that's the only thing you be taking is points, and they didn't even cover the points. So, but anyway, and then of course the Steelers and the Bengals are playing right now. I'm sitting there watching that one and everything. So we can go ahead and look at that one. There, I'm picking. I had picked. You know, that for some reason the Bengals was favored in that game. I'm like at Pittsburgh. So that might be, and sometimes the point spreads tell you stuff, but I'm guessing that they know that maybe that because you know if Baltimore wins, that the Steelers really don't have nothing to play for, really. So, in Cincinnati playing for everything. So, but anyway, we're not going to try to pick that one. We're going to go on to the next games that go on Sunday. So we're going to look at the games. Sunday noon. First game we're going to look at. Hey, it's of some interest to you, TK.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the Texans at the Titans. Tennessee is favored by 2. Now I know, like on last week, the Texans got they actually played on Christmas. They got bum rushed by the Baltimore Ravens, 31-2, and everything. So they've got over a week to kind of like lick their wounds and whatnot. So they go into what do they call that thing now? Nissan Stadium. What do they call that? Know what they call it?
Yeah, Nissan for sure. Yep.
Yeah, going into there with the Titans firmly with the number 2 draft pick firmly in their grasp,
Yeah.
and of course now the Texans, Texans Titans, as you say that 5 times together, they
Mhm.
are kind of like wanting to start playing some better football because they done lost a few games down the stretch. They kind of gotten whooped by Kansas City on the last Saturday before Christmas, and then they got beat on Christmas by by Baltimore, and then of course they lost a game or two before that. They've been kind of not been playing well, so I don't know what this game is going to be. I know the Titans understand their assignment. They're going to make a good showing, but they know that, hey man, there's nothing else for us to be gained by winning this game other than losing our number 2 position here. So I look for the Houston Texans to come into Nashville and get their show together, get their act together, and I look for them to win this game tomorrow. So I'm gonna pick the Houston Texans. And
Okay.
let me see. I'm gonna let you cook while I look at this thing right quick.
Okay. I'm gonna go Titans, man. Tighten up. So yeah, pick the Titans. Come out and try to get a win. And that's about where I'm at with it.
Okay. Now, you got to say, I think you was kind of in and out on that. What did you say? Maybe that might have been my fault because I'm looking at something here. But go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. The screen is changing, but I got Titans, man. Tighten up.
Are you taking the Titans to win?
Yeah, yeah. Titans, man.
Wow. Hey man, I don't know, man. I mean, ultimately, I would pull for the Titans to win that, but it ain't in their best interest to win that game. So I'm like, I don't know about that. But okay, if you pulling you going that way, I'm trying to find the game on the injury. I'm trying to find the injury report on that game. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I was gonna try to share it. Here we go. It's way down at the bottom. See, Shaq Mason, Denico Autry, Jeff Okuda. They're all out. And see, nobody for you guys other than Christian Harris. Okay. Anyway, let's get back here. All right. So, all right, man. You got the Titans again to win, which I'm finding that odd, but okay. All right. And then I got the Houston Texans. I just think Houston Texans are gonna do what they need to do to get themselves right for the playoffs and stuff. So I'm gonna take the Texans and stuff. So we splitting on that one. I ain't got no bail for that one. We're just gonna roll on here. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All
All
right.
right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Our next game we're looking at here is the sort of and towards the end of the season they are, this is a Roger Goodell thing. They're trying to, make sure all of the division teams play each other the last 3-4
I like
games of
that.
the season.
I like
So
that,
that,
man.
because them division races get tight, and you want to make sure they're playing the teams. If they're behind this team, they get a chance to play that team in order to get caught up. Or if they're in front of that team, you can't rest your starters because you're playing a team that's trying to catch you. So that's
Yeah.
how that thing works and stuff. So the next game we got is the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta definitely got to continue to win because Tampa they're in a dead heat with Tampa Bay. Of course, now they got the tiebreaker with Tampa Bay, having beat them twice. I think it was like two overtime games or two by field goal by the end of the games or whatever. If you understand what I'm saying. Um, and so and of course the Carolina Panthers. Look, man, I got to give kudos because TK said Tampa Bay's going to blow out the Panthers that last week, and I'm like, no, they're going to play well. No, 48-14, got blew out. So give him his kudos on that one. Carolina Panthers, really, I don't know where they sit in the. I want to say they're in the top 5 or 6 in the draft because I think they're like 3-10, 3-11, something like that. 3-12.
They got 4 wins, but it's
4 wins. 4 wins.
somewhere
Right.
convoluted up there.
They beat Carol. They beat the Cardinals. They beat the Cardinals. That's right. I remember now. Yeah, yeah. They beat the Cardinals. So they got 4 wins. Yeah. Okay. So they're like 4-11, something like that. 4-12.
4-12
Yeah.
last week.
Okay. Uh nothing to talk about here. I got the Falcons. Got Michael Penix playing. Michael Penix played well last week. They came up a little short against the Commanders, but I mean, I liked how they their approach to the game. He seems to be fitting right in with the scheme. Zach Robinson's his offensive coordinator. Got a good package together, taking advantage of his. He's a lefty now, and he seemed to be. Sometimes when the rookies get in there, maybe the game's moving a little too fast for them, and sometimes the coordinator's got to slow it down for him. He looks like he's right in there, man. Like, hey, man, I've been waiting for this ever since the first game of the season, and it didn't look like if they'd have put him in the first game of the season, they wouldn't have been in bad shape if they had chosen to do that. But I look for Atlanta just to go ahead and do their best to win this game, and then try to see what happens with Tampa Bay, who we'll get to in a minute because they got a game also. And if they both win, of course, Atlanta gets the tiebreaker. So I don't look for Atlanta to try to mess around with this one. So I got the Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons are going to win, but unfortunately, it's not going to matter because Tampa's a game up. So
Tampa is a game up.
Yeah,
I thought
so
the Falcons were a game up.
nah, Tampa's a game up. The Falcons have the tiebreaker, but it's not going to come down to a tiebreaker if Tampa wins. So that's the problem. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think Atlanta's
Right,
going
that's
to
right,
make
because
sure.
the Falcons lost. That's right, they lost last week. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I'd forgotten they lost.
yeah. So I think the Falcons are going to do their due diligence as far as winning the game, but I don't think it's going to be a moot point because the Saints aren't good enough to beat Tampa in Tampa with Tampa playing for everything. So you know, and not to mention on a side is that if there's any team New Orleans despises more than Tampa,
Oh, it's the Atlanta Falcons.
so yeah, I fully expect the Saints to be not that they were good enough to win anyway. Well, I definitely think even if it's a close game, they might roll it up just to stick it to Atlanta because they would love to do that to them. So fortunately, man, that loss last week kind of punched Atlanta's ticket out the playoffs. But I do think they'll be professional and win this game just in case.
All right, man. All right. So, all right, man. So we both got the I think the Atlanta Falcons winning that game, and being able to try to keep pace. But they, like you said, they since they lost last week, that puts them a game behind them. So yeah, that's it's unfortunate though. But that's going to be interesting though. That's going to be interesting, very interesting how that comes about. So now that you mentioned that game, the New Orleans Saints are traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers are favored by 14 and a half. Not knowing who's playing in that game. But I know that the Saints are not good enough to go to Tampa Bay and win that game. I don't care. I'm no Derek Carr's probably not playing. Uh, and and I was looking at. Matter of fact, let's do that. While you cook, I'm gonna go ahead and share this. I'm gonna look at the thing.
Oh, I
Go.
mean, I think it's just a repeat. Tampa's going to roll over New Orleans, and that's going to be that, man. They're going to punch their ticket, win the division, host a playoff game next weekend, all that.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to see, but I don't really think it's for a game like this. I don't think the injury report makes that much of a difference because I just think that they're just not good enough, and the Saints really, uh, you know, they're just not good enough to win in this particular game, and of course, they would love to. By winning, they would actually give the Falcons the daggum division, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
why would they?
That was my point. Yeah, they're not doing that.
Yeah, they ain't doing that. They ain't doing that.
No,
That's stupid.
no,
So
no.
no,
They're not giving the Falcons no type of gift. They
no,
have
nothing at all. Right. growing up in the South, I do know that yeah, and I've been over there in Atlanta. They hate them some Saints, and the feeling is mutual.
Oh yeah, it's definitely mutual.
Yeah, it's definitely mutual. Um, definitely mutual. So anyway, all right. So we got that. So we both taking the Buccaneers. We're taking the Buccaneers. We're taking the Falcons and the other game. So let's get out of that. So now we're going to now these games are games that really don't matter because one team is either clinched and the other team's really playing for uh, draft positionings, right? So again, we go with the Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots. Buffalo is favored by 3.5. That probably now you see that um, you see the what the spread is on that. It tells you a lot of things because Buffalo probably should be favored by a touchdown or two, right? It's
Mm,
played a couple weeks ago, right? And I think the Bills was favored by like 14 or something like that. So they go to New England. Something has to be going on. Maybe the Las Vegas knows that maybe Josh Allen's only going to play maybe a quarter, maybe going to play, maybe not play at all, and that will make the game sort of close. Maybe they're playing a half or whatever the case might be. Because I think they've already sewn up the number 2 seed. They're gonna be number 2 seed in the East. I think what are they 12 and what are they 13-3?
yeah.
Yeah, they're 13-3. They can't get the number 1 seed, so they can they can't get anything. Nothing really can be gained other than like, oh, I can get MVP consideration by playing. And a lot of times these teams really are not willing to risk that because the only team that gets a bye is the top seed. So it's really like, nah, want to get our guys some rest. So that's probably why the point spread is so minuscule here with two teams that are at two opposite ends of the spectrum. So I would have to expect that there's going to be some reserves playing for the Bills. Being that as it may, the New England Patriots have right now as we stand the number one draft position in the for the whatever sweepstakes. Shadua Sanders, Travis Hunter, Ted McMillan, whoever you think's the number one. They got that firmly in their grasp. So it's nothing for them to be gained by winning this game. So that being said, I look for Buffalo to win this game. It probably might be a touchdown game or something to that effect, but I look for Buffalo to win this game. What do you say?
Going Pats. Um, this might be one of those situations, man, where Patriots are playing all of their guys. They got a lot of guys that are singularly motivated, like we saw with the Giants last week against Indy. Um, you know, the Patriots in up top of the building may be thinking number one pick, but that doesn't always translate to the players that are taking the field tomorrow. They don't have that mentality. Sometimes that ends up mattering, and I think this is a prime game where I think it could end up mattering because the Bills have zero incentive in this game. They can't move up. They can't get knocked down any. They're right there, sandwiched at two, regardless of what happens tomorrow. Which alludes to me like you're not gonna see any of their impact players in this game. And the Patriots are gonna have a bunch of scrappy dudes fighting for their own future, their own job. Even a coach who, I mean, what does he care about it? He may not be back there next year.
Hmm.
There's the Rabel talk out there and it's getting louder. So, you know, this is one of those prime things where I think the Patriots actually playing at home come out with their young quarterback and they're playing way harder than the other team. And then they end up getting these so-called upset, but they're really playing against the Bills B team. So I'm taking the Pats A team over the Bills B team in this one.
Okay, all right. I would break out the bell, but he's taking the Pats B team over the Pats A team over the Bills B team. Is that what you said? I think that's what you said, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, there's a reason why that they are, the point spread is only like 3 points and stuff. So a lot of times Vegas knows something and everything. So, and a lot of these games gonna be interesting because you know a lot of times it's gonna be players playing that we like. Oh, dang! I didn't know such and such wasn't playing. And a lot of times you don't see that on the injury report because they ain't injured. They're just not playing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what how that works and stuff. So all right, we splitting on that one. He's going New England. I'm going Buffalo. Should be interesting. Should be real interesting. All right, going on to the next game is another game with. Well, really, there's nothing to be gained here. It's another AFC South game. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are out of the playoffs. Jaguars are still playing for draft positioning. The Indianapolis is favored by 3.5. We basically get 3 points for being a home team. So basically, it's almost like a toss up. So maybe they know something we don't. Maybe now I know that I had read in some of the news clippings along the way this week that if he's healthy enough, Richardson will be starting at quarterback. So
Nah,
what
no, I got it. He's out. I got to tell. I saw
is
that. I saw that
okay.
earlier. He's out.
Okay. Yeah, he put it. He was very. He I mean Shane Steichen. He was very contingency on that. It's like if he's healthy to play, he will play.
No, he's
So
out.
as the week went on, I guess he never met the credentials that were needed for him to get clearance to play and stuff. So I guess we will be. Oh, shoot, let's see. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, man. Um, I'm just looking just for laughs and giggles here. Who's playing and who's not playing? Maybe it'll tell me something. Maybe it won't. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. I know the screen is doing some stuff because I'm scrolling up and down here. Here we go. Buccaneers, Saints, New York. Here we go. Here we go. Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Field, 1 o'clock p.m. Jacksonville, Walter Little, Josh Allen, not that Josh Allen, the other Josh Allen, uh, the defensive end Josh Allen. And let's see, for the Colts out, Anthony Richardson. That's right. If I'd have read that, I'd have been dangerous. As a matter of fact, I think he's the only one on the Colts out list. Okay. So, interesting. Very interesting. He's the only one listed on the injury report as being out for the Colts. That being said, I'm gonna take the Colts. I'm gonna take them. Jacksonville, I think and I think there's been some talk about that the Jaguars are already working on their next coach, which they've kind of done behind the scenes. I kind of read a story about that or got a notification about that. So I don't know, man. Sometimes when you got games like this where a team really don't have nothing to play for, you got a team playing for essentially what you could call a lame duck coach. A lot of times how they play in this game tells you how they feel about said coach. So I don't know. I'm gonna still take the Colts, but because they're playing at home. But I don't know. This game could be weird. This game could be real weird. But I'm taking the Colts.
I think this game gonna be fun, man. I think it's gonna be one of the more like competitive games in the 12 o'clock window. I think both teams have a lot of motivated guys that are just gonna come out and just play football. I think it's if you just in it just watching like aesthetically pleasing guys trying and giving a damn in the last week of the season and what's a meaningless game for both sides, I think those teams still will give us a good one in this one. So, but I'll go light them up, Flacco to light up the Jags, and I think the Jags might even return the favor with a motivated Mac Jones. So,
Mac Jones, yeah.
you know, I say it's like a 30-27 type game, man. I'll go with the home team, but it's gonna be a pretty interesting game if you just want to see some interesting football.
All right, man. see that one out of eye. I was like I said, sometimes these games go. When I say weird, I mean like yeah, it's a lot of crazy plays that go on in them games because it's like you never know how that thing's rolling and whatnot because you got teams playing for nothing, other teams playing for pride, but then they like I said, you got the added ingredients with the got leaked out that they looking to replace Doug Peterson. So we'll look for see what happens there. So anyway, let's move on to the next game. Let's just whiz on through these. This is going to be an interesting one. You got the New York Football Giants traveling to Lincoln Financial Field to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. I got a little bit to say about this one. The Eagles are favored by just a measly 2.5 points. That should tell you something right there. That should tell you something right there that somebody's not playing. I know that last week when the Eagles beat my Cowboys, they started Kenny Pickett. He was okay. Got his ribs cracked a couple times, and they brought in some this other kid, and he, I think he had a touchdown pass or two, and so it was, you know, and so one of those guys is going to be starting this week. I'm not sure who, but I know who it's not going to be. It's not going to be Jalen Hurts, and I tell you who else is not going to be playing. It's not going to be Saquon Barkley because we got a notification about I don't know Tuesday or Wednesday this week and to let us know that Saquon Barkley will not be playing this week and will not get an opportunity to take down the Eric Dickerson 40-year-old single season rushing record of 2,105 yards, which was set back in 1984. Your boy was in high school when that happened. I still remember that. I just graduated or whatever. I was about to graduate or whatever.
Yeah.
When that particular thing took place, and that record has stood in place for 40 years. All right, 40 years, and so I thought it might be neat since he had 167 yards against the Cowboys, and that he only needs like 101 yards to break the record, and against the Giants, he might get that in a half and send him the rest of the game. Now, the thing is, now he may be playing with backup offensive linemen and things of this nature, and that they may have been a whole effort to sit a bunch of people, and you wouldn't want him to be playing behind, second and third string offensive linemen or whatnot. So I would have said, hey, can you suck it up for a half? Let's see if we can just give it a go. If it ain't happening, we'll pull it. You can always sit guys during the game, and pull in the other guys. You can always do that because I think it would have been a neat thing to have seen. But since the Eagles decided not to do that, they're playing Kenny Pickett or playing I can't think what the other kid's name is, but it's probably going to be Kenny Pickett. Would it be out of bounds to say the Giants might win this one? I'm gonna pick the Giants. I'm gonna pick the Giants because they've actually been playing some good football down the stretch. They won a couple games, man. And so they had lost 10 in a row, which is the most the Giants have ever lost. And I'm like, dang, you sure they ain't lost 10 in a row several other years? But I guess not. I don't know, man. They said that's a record, but nothing to play for here. The Eagles they can't get the number one seed. It's either gonna fall to either Detroit if they win, or Minnesota if they win. It's whoever wins that other game, which is gonna be the blockbuster of this segment. Will get the number one overall seed or whatever. And Philly can't get that, so there's no sense in them playing, getting guys hurt. So I'm going to take the Giants.
Yeah, man. Simply put, this is a rinse and repeat from earlier with Buffalo, New England. I'm going with Giants A team because I think that's who's going to be out there. The Giants A team will beat the Eagles B team, and they'll put some points on the board and just they'll opt for the team morale victory with a lot of guys that are motivated to play and try to make something happen. So I'm going Giants as well.
All right, man. Shoot, that's a lot. It's going to be a lot of upsets in this, but it's not really upsets. So not this time of the season. It's really not. It's really not, man. Like I said, it would have been fun to see Saquon try for that record, man. Even though I can't stand the Eagles, that's like hey, man, the Eagles, could go 0-17, and I'm throwing a party, man. But I like to see records get broke and all that sort of stuff. I think that's all interesting stuff. And a lot of people, a lot of the narrative, like, well, he still did it in 17 and Eric did it in 16. I say, you don't understand context. Look at how many carries Eric Dickerson did. I think it's 379 to like 320 for Saquon. So, I mean, he carried it a lot more times in 16 games than Saquon did in 16 games. So if Saquon had 50 more carries, I think he'd have got 100 more yards. I don't know. They would only be taking 2 yards a carry. I think he gets that, but I don't want to give you too many facts and start make your brain explode. So I'm just gonna leave it at
Oh
that.
yeah, whole
It would
lot
have
of fun.
been nice to have seen him try for the record. That's all I'm saying.
That's
As
it, man.
a
Would have
fan,
been
a
nice.
football fan, I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, they took that away from us, so it is what it is.
So, all right, man. Enough of that, man. Both got the Johns. We're moving on. Whizzing right on through these games. You got the Bears at the Packers. Packers by 10.5. I think the Packers still have positioning. I think it's a lot of positioning between like what two and between what three, 4 and 5, 4 and 5, well 5 and 6.
Well, yeah, because they'll be in the wild cards. It
Right,
has
they're
been
definitely a wild
some
card.
wild card positioning to play for.
Right. And Bears are just playing. They're trying to, they auditioning for their new coach or whoever he might be. So I see what kind of team he's going to inherit. Uh, I look for the Bears to play well in this game. I don't think they're winning though. Even though I'm not sure what the Packers are going to do in terms of, like I said, I think that there's opportunities for them to move up from number 6 to maybe number 5 or for wherever they stand at right now. There's a chance for them to move up. So maybe they play Jordan Love for a little bit to try to see if he. Shit, let's just see, man. Let's just see. Let's just see, man. Why? Go ahead and give me some perspective, TK, while I.
I don't know because it's like I think it's more that I think it's really um, where they probably don't fall to the 7, so it's really just 5 and 6 shuffling and trying to figure out who would you rather play because it's a road game regardless. So maybe they do start the game off with their starters and by halftime kind of get a feel for how it's going and opt to do something else in the second half. So it's just kind of one of those type of games to me. So um I could pick it as the Packers and it could be based on the first half and then they come out in the second half with the B team and then the Bears end up pulling it out. So um I'll just pick the Bears just because.
You're just gonna pick the Bears.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I'll just pick the
Bears.
Bears.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just
Well, I
looking.
mean, I'm looking. I see, the Packers got a lot of guys out, so I think they may come out and give it a try, but I doubt their starters probably end up playing this full game. So in that vein, man, I'll give the Bears a little healthy morale victory in the final week of the season.
Yeah.
Something they honestly need over there. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah, you're right. Packers got a bunch of dudes out. Let's see here. It's a bunch of dudes. Okay, they're question. Let's see. Andre Dillard, I think it's a left tackle. He's a questionable. I don't know if he starts though. You got Quay Walker and Zaire Alexander. Those are big. Those are big outs right there, man. Um, yeah. Then of course now questionable. You got um, Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, illness and knee respectively. Uh I don't know, man. Uh, let me put my stuff back up there. I think I'm gonna go with you, man. I think I'm gonna go with the Bears. Well, I think it could. I could see the Packers easily winning this because but I think they may not be motivated to do so, and the Bears might be. Hey, let's end this season on a good note. We had a lot of bad things happen to us. We were 4-2 at one point in this season. Now we're like 4-12. We lost 10 straight games. Um, wow, 2 months ago I would have announced like, man, come on, Bears. You trying to tell me Bears ain't going to the playoffs? Bears ain't even going to be contending for a wild card spot. Come on, man. They 4-2. You would never have told me that they would have failed this far. To
Yeah, yeah, they
they're
did.
in like prime light draft positioning now. I'm like, what? No, no. But yeah, I think they may play well this week and just kind of give it a shot to, like I said, see what the give the whatever coaches that they select. He'll get to see a little preview of what he got. What kind of team he's gonna have. So anyhow, I'm gonna take the Bears too, just like TK, because I think that might be a game where some stuff goes on or whatever. So we're done with that. And so finally, the last 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock game we got the Commanders at the Cowboys. Washington favored by 6. Earlier in the week, they was favored by 4. News came out they were starting uh, Trey Lance, which I'm like, you could have started him weeks ago. So you can kind of see what you got, see if he can play, see if you can develop a system or a series of plays around him. Get yourself accustomed to playing with a guy with that kind of skill set just to see if, what he has to offer to just burning fourth round picks in the fireplace. But anyhow, Cowboys do things the way they do them. I got my own rants about that. They do things the way they do them, way they choose to do business. So that's probably the case there. The Commanders, I think, have an opportunity. If they win, they would play the Rams as opposed to playing the Eagles. So I think that might be their motivation. If there wasn't that motivation, I think they would win anyway. So usually I don't pick against the Cowboys. I just think that this we're coming to the end of the road here. Got a bunch of probably a bunch of like backups playing, and I just think the Commanders win. So I don't think it's a lot to be said there. Commanders win, and they'll move on, and then they'll probably play the Rams in SoFi in the playoffs. That's what I think. Let's see.
Commanders, man, Woodshed. Woodshed.
Wood. So he thinking they fixing to take him out behind the woodshed.
Yep, yep, yep.
Let's see.
Dallas is gonna be all right,
I don't think it's gonna be all right, but it's gonna be okay. But it's gonna be okay. It ain't gonna be all right.
man.
If that makes any sense.
I'm with you.
The sun will rise tomorrow, but we're gonna ride. It's gonna ride with us having the same problems. There we go. Let's see. No real. Let's see. Injuries. Kermon Hall. I don't know. That's a cornerback. Questionable. Chuma Doga, Mozzie Smith, Nick Vigil, Donovan Wilson. Okay. And see the Commanders. Let's see. Out. Jordan McGee. Marshawn Lattimore. Okay. That's kind of interesting. That's interesting. Austin Eckler's been activated. I know I saw that on a crawl earlier today. He's been on IR for last several weeks with a concussion. They activated him from the IR this week for this game. Look for him to get some run and get his legs up underneath him. Look for that. But yeah, we both got the Commanders winning. Of course, that the Cowboys win. I ain't exactly upset. We're sitting at the 15th spot. We can move up a 13th spot. We can move up a couple of spots. That would be nice. That'd be nice. All right, moving on. We're now going to the 3 o'clock games, and there's a lot of them. There's no 3:05 game. I noticed that this week. First game we're gonna look at is the Seahawks at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams coming off of their division win over the Cardinals last week. And I think I'm guessing that they're proposing to rest a lot of players because even though they're playing at SoFi, Rams are the Seahawks are favored by 6.5. Tells you all you need to know. So that tells me that probably Matthew Stafford's probably not playing. And I think my son told me that their backup is what's his name? They used to quarterback in the 49ers. What's his name? 49ers and the Raiders. You know what I'm talking about. Jimmy Garoppolo. Is that their backup quarterback? Is that the Rams' backup quarterback?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Jimmy G. I had no idea Jimmy G was still playing
Still in the
football.
league? You thought he was selling insurance?
Maybe not that, but definitely doing something else.
Okay, that's moving right along here. Nothing to see here. Think he hanging out in Chatsworth. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Leave that alone. Leave that
that,
alone.
that for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Uh that probably means Nakua and Cooper Cup, who probably, got have had injuries all this season, probably take that time to kind of nurse them injuries, get ready for the playoffs. I got Seattle. I'm gonna go along with what the what
Mm.
Vegas is saying. I'm gonna take Seattle. Now Seattle, they're still in the playoffs, right?
No, I don't think they're a lot. I don't think so. I
Wow.
think, matter of fact, not only that, I think they're mathematically, maybe not. Let me not say that. Let me not say
There's
that.
seven teams. The four division winners going to be Detroit or Minnesota, whichever one wins tomorrow. And then you got Philadelphia, and then you got Atlanta or Tampa Bay, whichever one does what they do tomorrow. And then you got the teams that then you got Washington, and then
Yeah, Seattle's out, man, because
you only got seven
Minnesota,
slots.
Minnesota Rams, and Packers. So Seattle's out.
Minnesota Rams and Pack. Well, Minnesota,
I'm
yeah.
assuming Minnesota loses tomorrow, but
Minnesota, the Rams. Yeah, it's gonna be Minnesota or Detroit, the Rams,
yeah,
Packers,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Washington. That's all the teams because you got four division winners. You only get three wild cards, so Washington's one of them. The Minnesota or Detroit loser is gonna be one, and then you got
So actually, this is interesting because man, it is are the Rams
then Green
the
Bay.
Rams?
You
No, no,
got
no, no,
Green Bay,
no, 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 no. That's why I'm like, hold on. Yeah, the Rams already got the division. They're the division winner.
right? And I don't think Seattle can get a wild card because you got
No,
you
no,
got
no,
Green
no.
Bay,
Seattle's out
right?
because Green Bay. Yeah, the Rams are not a wild card. They won a division.
They won a division.
Yeah,
But
it's the
they don't have a
Vikings.
better record than Green Bay. Don't have a
No,
better
they
record than
don't. But
Minnesota. And don't have a
no,
better record than Washington. So
no,
no,
the wild cards is already set though. Yeah,
yeah,
Seattle out of here.
right, yeah, they're out of it. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take Seattle because I just think that they're probably playing for pride. I think they're a decent team, just not good enough to make the playoff push. But I think they'll probably be playing a lot of their starters. Probably playing a little bit. Probably play Geno for a half. They'll probably be playing one of their running backs. They'll probably be playing. A lot of their players, whereas the Rams will be playing a bunch of backups, getting ready for the playoffs. So I got Seattle. Like I said, a lot of these games end up weird. And if you're playing good on good, I'm taking the Rams all day, every day in this game. If they're playing good on good, but they're not playing good on good. They're playing B team against A team, B team, Rams team against the A team, Seattle, at least for a half. So Seattle's favored by 6, probably how it's going to go. So I'm going to take Seattle. All right. Moving on. Any more you got to say about this game before we move on here?
No,
Okay. Moving on here. All right, you got the Miami Dolphins taking on the New York Football Jets at MetLife Stadium. New York Jets are favored by 1. Let's look at that because I don't know who's starting for the Dolphins. The Dolphins have sort of an outside chance to get in the playoffs, don't they?
no,
They're
no,
not.
no. It's over.
Okay. Because I thought this like if Cincinnati won, Miami had to lose or tie in order for them to get in. So if they won, that I thought maybe I don't know. It's confusing how that's rolling, but I do know this. I know that I had saw it that the Dolphins who's going to play. Here we go. And I'm not sharing the screen because I'll have to go back and whatever. I just want to take a quick glance at what's going on with that. Um, yeah, here we go. Anthony Walker. Tua is doubtful with a hip, and Tyreek is questionable with a hip with a wrist and illness. Let's see. Waddles questionable with a knee. Teron Armstead with a knee questionable. Calais Campbell rest. All right, I'm taking the Jets. I think I've seen enough.
Yeah, I'll second that. I'll go Jets. Yeah, Tua is going to be out, and I mean Tyreek is one of them guys out that's playing for like incentives. So there's guys sprinkled in all these games that have their own individual motivation to play for money. So that factors, I guess. But I think New York will be in that spot where you just get out of here with a win, man.
Yeah, salvage the season, man.
Whatever it could mean for the team. That's a team that if you into the media's superlatives, that's a team that could use a win right now for their overall morale. So I'll give this one to the Jets as well.
Good deal. Good deal. A lot of the ne'er do wells in the season are getting love from the TK Uncle Fred show. A lot of ne'er do wells do getting love today.
Yeah.
Better lap it up, but you ain't getting no more. All right,
Mhm.
let's see here. You won't be getting it week one next year. You won't be getting that love. All right, so we both got the Jets on that. We got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to I don't know what they call Maha Stadium today, uh, but I do know from what I see here, Broncos are favored by 10.5.
Yeah.
Tells you what you need to know. That means Carson Wentz is probably starting at quarterback. Probably no Kareem Hunt, probably no Isaiah Pacheco, probably be seeing Steele running back. Probably be seeing Watson and some of the other backups at wide receiver, and some different guys and stuff like that. And of course, Denver's got to win because they're trying to get in the playoff. They don't win, that Cincinnati gets their playoff spot. Um, so I look for Denver to put forth every effort they can to win this game and try to get themselves into the playoff, which would be a great season for the Broncos, who, for those who may not know, have not made the playoffs since Peyton Manning played for them. Yeah. Wrap your mind around that. The Broncos have not made the playoffs since Peyton Manning played for them. Since he walked off into the sunset, a broken soldier back in 2015. They have not won a super. They have not won a play. Not been in the playoff. Not qualified for the playoff. That's 8, 9 years, 10 years if you count this year. So we'll say 9 seasons or whatever. So I got the Broncos to win this because they need it more in Kansas City. They got everything wrapped up. They're 15-1. I don't remember the last time a team did win 16 games, but there's no incentive for them to do that because they don't get no more. You don't get like an extra buy for winning 16 games. No. So, no. Kansas City will rest their players. Denver gets to win, and they'll get into the playoffs. Sorry, Joe, you don't get it this time. What says you?
That's it, man. Denver gonna punch that ticket. None of the Chiefs' main players are playing in this one. Already looked. Denver gonna punch the ticket. I don't know what Joe and them did tonight, but even if they won, it's like it's kind of bittersweet because it won't matter once 6:30, 7 o'clock hit tomorrow. Denver will be punching that ticket. So
Yeah, and the Bengals will be punching that clock to Las Vegas, man. That's according to Vince Young. That's where all of the guys go when they don't make the playoffs, and whether they go to there for like little R and therapy sessions or whatever. They go to Vegas and hang out or what have you. So that's where they'll be booking their flights to Las Vegas and Cancun and these different places. That's what the Bengals will be they'll be doing. So 6 o'clock, Sean Payton and Bo Nix, all those guys. Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims and all those dudes will be booking their first playoff win in a long time. Good for them. They've deserved that. They played well this season with all the obstacles, rookie quarterback, all that stuff going against them, and they was able to forge a playoff type season. And I think they cash it in on Sunday. So about 6 o'clock, we'll know everything we need to know. So we both got the Broncos in that game. All right, moving on. You got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Los Angeles Chargers are favored by 4 for some reason because the Chargers have already booked their flights, booked their tickets for the playoffs last week. So I don't know if they can even improve their seeding, but I know the Raiders better not win another game. They bet not. They best not win no more games. This team to move from the first spot to like what 7?
Yeah, they down there now.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, dude! You almost out the quarterback business now. You know, because I know that's what you thought you was gonna get. It's all set. Just lose your games. Get your Shador, get your guy. Let him get mentored by Tom Brady. He's there. As a minority owner, but he's gonna have a hand in all the stuff going. That is football there, and it was just too well. But dang, how folks don't like when a story has a happy ending. Why they don't want that, TK? Why they don't like that? Why folks don't want nice stuff? Huh? Why they don't want nice stuff? Just lose like you've been losing, like you've been doing. We're not asking you to do nothing that you ain't already been doing for the last, like, I don't know, 4 years. Just do what you've been doing. You know, you've been coming in late every year, every day, every week. Why you want to be 15 minutes early today? For what? For who? Come on, Raiders. Get it together, man. Let's not fall any further down this rabbit hole sunk yourself into, man. Give me the Chargers, man.
Yeah, I'm saying Chargers for sure.
Folks just don't know. Folks just don't know when they got it good, man. Folks just don't know when they got it good, man. All right, we both got the Chargers. 49ers at the Cardinals, man. I think that's rounding up the 325 games. 49ers probably just want to end this season on a good note. This is a season that's been rife with injuries, from Debo Samuels to Williams, the left tackle, to Christian McCaffrey. Now Brock Purdy's has something going on with his elbow that he sustained in the Lions game. That was a good game, actually, to close out the Monday Night Football season. That was actually a good game, one of the better games of the day. But 49ers have kind of been taking it on the chin lately. They've lost about like 4 in a row, something like that.
Yeah, they down bad, man.
Yeah. So I think they're 6-10. They lose, they'll be 6-11. They'll give them a prime pick. They'll be picking ahead of the Cowboys. Ain't that crazy? That's yeah.
That's a really good team. It might add a really good player, so watch out for
Right.
them next year.
Right. And of course they'll get Williams, and Debo will be back next year. McCaffrey we'll see, because I know we don't know how all that stuff that he had going on this year will do. And the good thing is all them guys injured. What's the receiver? Brandon Ayuk, all that stuff going on. Allows you get to see some good snap for Ricky Pearsall, who looks real nice. I like Ricky Pearsall, like him a lot. And so they was getting a lot of that going. I don't know about this game, man. It's got the Arizona Cardinals favored by 4. The Cardinals won the first game early in the season. I think like game 5 or something like that. Game 6, somewhere in there. They won that game in Levi Stadium. Give me the Cardinals, man.
Yep, same.
Give me the Cardinals, man. I think Cardinals go in there and they double up the 49ers, which the 49ers will go to the lab, get them a good draft pick. Probably get them a quarterback in the in the free agency of some sort, because they got to make a decision on one Brock Purdy who's hurt again. Got to make a decision. So So we'll see what happens there. So that pretty much that's all the games for that. And then we got a game on Sunday night, and I got 5 stars by that game. If you look in the captions, you got the is that 5 or is that 6? If I'd have could have put 6, I would have put 6. You got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Ford Field to take on the Detroit Lions. Both teams are 14-2. This will decide the number 1 seed in the NFC. Both teams are 14-2. Minnesota won a tough game against the Green Bay Packers team. They needed a 4th down play, throwing it to Cam Akers. He just caught that ball off the turf and rolled over, and they was able to run the clock out, man. So that because I believe if the Green Bay Packers had to stop them on 4th down, I think they'd have won that game 28-27. But we'll never know. Vikings won it. So now that sets up the showdown this week at Ford Field with 2 teams with all the marbles, all the chips are pushed to the middle of the table. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna let you cook some on that. Let's look at this injury report. Why you do that?
No, that's what I've been doing, man. I got it up.
You got it up. What you got? What you got?
It's nobody on either side of significance other than who we already knew, with David Montgomery being out.
Right.
But outside of that, there's nobody designated out who's a key player or starter. Um, Shout out to Goodell, man, because this is what you want. Like you schedule those divisional matchups
For
in
a
the
reason.
final week, hoping you could get this right here.
For a
Like,
reason, yes.
it doesn't get any better than this, man. All the marbles for the NFC are on the table.
Center of the table.
The number 1 seed is on the line. I mean, it's this is as good as it's gonna get in week 18, in the NFL. So I love that. Sunday night, everybody will tune in, and one of these teams will punch that bye ticket, and the other one will go on the road in the playoffs. It's like a 14-win team. It's crazy.
Yeah. Think about this, man. A 14-win team will be going to Tampa or Atlanta for a playoff.
Yeah, that's
Ain't that,
crazy.
ain't that crazy? They
Yeah.
got to do something about that right there, man. I know you want to give credence to the division winners. I get that. I mean, because it should mean something to win a division. But dang, dude, you won 14 games. And the 2 games you lost, I think you lost by a field goal to Detroit, right? And then who's the other game they lost? Who else did Minnesota lose to? They lost to who's they have to lost to?
Well, Detroit, I know, lost to the Bills. So
Lost to the Bills and they lost to Tampa Bay. I don't know who they lost to. I have no idea. Um, what,
well, I got Minnesota, man.
man,
I
I
think
thought I,
Minnesota.
I thought I was going to be groundbreaking. Yeah, I shouldn't have let you pick first. That gummit.
I think it's gonna be a
I
real
shouldn't have
good
let you
game.
pick first, man, because I was going to be the break, the one that's like, oh, he did what? I was going to be me, man.
Well, it's hard to justify, man.
Stole my thunder, man.
That Detroit defense was leaking a lot of oil last week, and
Yeah.
the medicine, sure as you know what, isn't Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So yeah, I think more oil will be spilling in Ford Field, ironically. So uh,
That's a good one. I like that. Like that. Like that. Like
I
that.
I still think it's gonna be a good game. I mean, even the game I'm referencing was a really good game. It was
Yeah.
a great game. So I think it'll be that, and we'll all be tuned in. It's gonna be awesome for us football watchers. But I think ultimately Minnesota gets a key stop in a key moment when they need it as a unit, as a defense. And that might break the game one way or the other. So I'll just give the nod to the team that's playing better on that side of the ball because I think both teams are going to score. So it'll just be a matter of who can get a stop in a moment when you really need it. I don't know that maybe Detroit at their best, but
Right,
they're missing so many very important guys. It's just
right.
um, the way they looked last week, man. It's like I honestly I don't know why Minnesota can't come in here and do the exact same thing. So I'm gonna go Minnesota, man. I know you wanted to clash on it, and maybe if Detroit was a little more healthy, I'd definitely go their way. But right now, this version of them in Week 18, I just on top of all of that, it's kind of like it's it's hard to predict it, but it's kind of like you also kind of wonder if the game's tight and Dan Campbell decides to risk it for the ticket. It's like it might, you might go to that well too many times on this particular night.
Yeah,
It might go your way, man. So um, I think everything kind of stacks Minnesota's way, and it'll if they do lose, it'll just be a matter of Detroit just overwhelming them. But I honestly I don't see that that's the element of how I think that's who Detroit set out to be. And injuries is part of the NFL, and it's changed their identity over time throughout the course of the year. So without their bell cow, David to come in there and set tones and allow them to sort of mix it up with Jameer and Aiden Hutchinson and Aleem Mitchell creating pressure. And not having those guys, I mean, those are three
yeah,
hugely important,
yeah.
not only players but the identity of the team. So you're
Right.
missing three very important elements there. So um, I'll just go Minnesota, man. But I'll be tuned in. It's gonna be a good one regardless.
Oh, I ain't missing this game for nothing. I'm hoping whatever we got. The definitely doing church in the morning, and whatever. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be peeping at some of the afternoon games and stuff. But if you best believe you me, I'm parking myself on the couch with my wings or popcorn or whatever the
Mhm.
case, whatever
Right,
kind of
right.
beverage, and I'm watching this one because
Yeah,
I think I read somewhere that there's never been a game in the NFL where there was a collection of wins this high in the season.
yeah, yeah,
14. I think I
yeah,
read that somewhere. And I was like, wow.
yeah.
So this is like you said, Goodell, and not only that, it ends up on prime time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That I mean, UK, man, you can't script this better than that, man. For it ended up being both 14-2 teams playing against each other for the right to take all the marbles in the NFC when it's gonna be the only game to be watched at
Hmm.
prime time, man, come on.
It's good stuff. Good
Ain't nothing.
stuff.
I don't care. I'm telling you something. Anything that's on opposite of this, man, I feel for your ratings, man. I feel for them. But yeah, I'm kind of miffed because I usually pick first, and I let you pick first because I was gonna be the one like he picked Minnesota, and he picked Minnesota. I'm like, man. So it's anticlimactic now. Uh,
Nah, man, I think it was gonna be kind of obvious, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. Because 49ers, let's be real. The 49ers had their way with them last week.
they did. They did.
Shoot, shoot. They had their way.
Turnovers,
It was 20,
turnovers
yeah,
changed
turnover.
that game, man.
Brock Purdy
Purdy,
threw two bad picks.
yeah, Purdy
Uh,
turning it over really is really what changed that game, man.
yeah.
Outside of that, they were moving the ball at will. So
I was like, that gum San Francisco got 28 points on them early in
yeah,
the third. I'm like, oh, snap. Okay. So, but Detroit did that, and they came up with that little trick plays. A little that hook and lateral play was, but that was beautiful, man. That was on
yeah,
that first touchdown,
yeah. It's
throwing it to uh,
Jameson.
huh?
Talking about the one to Jameson.
But they threw it to St. Brown, and then he just flipped it to Jameson. And once Jameson got around the corners, oh no, you ain't catching him.
Yeah, No.
You ain't catch no crackhead. No, I'm just playing. That's from
Uh,
Friday. Anybody knows the reference? That's a Friday. That's a Friday riff. They ain't got. It has no reference to do with any extracurricular activities that Jameson Williams might partake in. That's just a riff on the movie. You ain't catching Jameson Williams. Okay,
no.
once he get the head of steam going, you ain't bringing him down from behind. But yeah, but
Exactly.
yeah. And then one other thing I want to say here. One of the things about Minnesota and you saw it last week in the game of the week last week when it was Green Bay versus Minnesota. That was a game of the week last week, right? I can't say enough about the coaching job that Brian Flores has done on that Minnesota defense. He's done. He might be like, if there's a such thing as assistant coach of the year or coordinator of the year or whatever. Brian Flores got that defense looking like, he is, if he ain't careful, that dude gonna work himself into another head coaching job. Now I don't know how well he might do there, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. Him get another opportunity. And
Okay,
he's got that defense because they weren't looking like that last year when they got some parts in. Got what's my man's name, Byron Murphy in there, and Stephon Gilmore in there, and I think they're gonna get a stop or two late in this game that's gonna turn that game. And they're gonna be a lot of stops. Okay. Not going to be a lot of stops because two high powered offenses. But I think they'll get one or two stops at the end of this game. It's going to make that game, it's going to push that thing in the Minnesota Vikings' favor. And I got the Vikings. They're going to have the number one seed for the NFC playoffs. So both got the Vikings, man. But I want to be the one to break it to you. But didn't get that chance. Gotta love TK, man. Gotta love him. Gotta love him.
well, it's also good for us viewers because I would love to see Detroit go to Tampa in a playoff setting. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, man. So anyhow, and wouldn't it be weird? You win 14 games, you don't get a single playoff game at home. Ain't that crazy?
I don't think Dan Campbell gonna be calling it weird. He'll be using different terms.
Yeah, that is crazy to me, man. You would win 14 games and don't get a single home playoff game.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
That might have to be tinkered with. I'm sorry. Somebody might tinker with that, man. But I'm just saying. All right, man, we're down to the end of the video. So we did something a little special last week. We looked at the college football player. We both football junkies, and we like football, whether they're getting it for pay. Well, they all getting paid now, or getting it from the professional ranks or the collegiate ranks. We like football. And so the college football player, we picked 4 games last week, and we went 4-0. We both picked Penn State. That took on Boise State, and of course Ashton Genty. They made it tough on him. I think he had like 27 carries for like 104 yards and stuff. And I had like 1 or 2 like nice runs, but for the most part, Penn State was ganging up on him, and I felt like Penn State was going to beat them because I felt like they was going to make some other guy on Boise State beat them. And they got a few plays. Tight end got a few plays on them. But ultimately, they needed Ashton Genty to be Ashton Genty, have 150 yards or something. They didn't get it, so Penn State won and they advanced. And of course, uh, Texas overcome Arizona State, but that dadgum Cam Scatterboo played his butt off. That man one of the. I think he was like the most valuable player. He did a Jerry West. He won like the most outstanding player, whatever, on the losing team because he did so many things. Because he had like 25 carries, like 135 yards and a touchdown. He had like a 51-yard catch. He threw a 42-yard touchdown pass. Had like 6 catches for like 99 yards. And, just weren't able to. And I just think Texas has had more players and they was able to win it in overtime. And Texas was able to advance. And of course, the second game, we saw Ohio State just open up a can on Oregon. It's like, oh yeah, we remember what y'all did to us back in like October. We remember that. We remember that, and we was taking names on that, and they with 41-21. Jeremiah Smith. If you didn't know who Jeremiah Smith was before Wednesday, you know him now. You know that brother now. And so Ohio State won, and then of course the tragedies of stuff with the terrorists or whatever they're calling it situation that happened in New Orleans. The game, Sugar Bowl, All-State Sugar Bowls moved to Thursday night, where we saw Notre Dame, which we both called, outlast Georgia 20, I think 23-10, if I think that was the final score in that game. And so that sets up this the Thursday and Friday. I think the Thursday game will be Notre Dame and Penn State, which will be the Capital One Orange Bowl, 6:30 on Thursday. How you see that game, TK?
uh 13-10. You know what I mean? Two defensive minded teams, man. I mean, it's football, so those of us who like football regardless, you still locked in. You kind of, I guess for me, is all I like to see the balance. So I kind of like to see those type of teams play a different style.
Mm-hmm.
So, with these two teams, they kind of got the same identity. Um, so aesthetically wise, it may not be as pleasing as other games, but um, I'm gonna go Notre Dame. I'm going. It may be a limb. I'm not sure if that's a limb, but if it is, I'm going on the limb. I'm gonna go Notre Dame in this one, and I do think it's gonna be like I wouldn't say lackluster, just as far as it's just strength on strength, man. It's just two defensive minded teams, so you know it's gonna be a tug and pull. It's a lever, so it's gonna be a lever type of game, and may see a lot of field goals as a result of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. I think I'm leaning that way too. If you take me, let me ask me to who I pick. If it's going to be it's going to be an interesting coaching matchup too, because you got Marcus Freeman taking on James Franklin. James Franklin usually is taking a lot of heat because he never seemed to be able to win like a big game. This is a big game. Might be the opportunity for you to like change the narrative. Sometimes you get an opportunity to change your own story, to write your own story. People can write what they want about you, but then you have the opportunity to write, for yourself. He got an opportunity here. I mean, he's got a couple of like first round players on his team with Abdul Carter on defense, and I think the guy's name is Tyler Warren. Is that his
Yeah,
name? Tight end, number
yeah,
44.
yeah,
He's a dude, man. That's a
yeah,
dude. Like
yeah,
6'6", 250. That's a
yeah.
dude, man. Down in the red zone, I would like for them to try to find him, unlike what they did against Ohio State a month or two ago when they ran it up the gut 3 times in a row, never looked this way. Um, but it's something about how Marcus Freeman got Notre Dame. Not only are they like physical, they play smart. They play smart football, man. Technically sound. That little thing they did with the punting it, but nah, we're gonna act like we're gonna play, and it made Georgia kind of like blink. That there's some little stuff that Marcus Freeman doing, man. I like to see that, man. I like to see intelligence on the sideline, and you make sure your players are playing what I call smart football. They don't beat themselves and whatnot. And I see Marcus Freeman putting that on the Notre Dame. I'm gonna take Notre Dame in this, but I think it's gonna be a tough, physical, a lot of good hitting. Abdul Carter gonna knock the snot out of somebody on this game in this game. I promise you that. He's going to he's if he's healthy enough, he's got this little hamstring going. I don't know, whatever, but I just think Notre Dame will get a field goal or something late in the game, like he said, 13-10, 16-14, something like that. That's the way I see that. And but see, it's going to be a lot of hitting. It's not. It's going to be like what you would call high percentage offense. Not a lot of low percentage stuff, a lot of screen passes, a lot of the quarterbacks, taking off and running with it, getting 6, 7, 8 yards, running it on 2nd and 3, getting first downs, keeping the chains moving, that kind of thing. I see a lot of that going on in this game. And but I got Notre Dame winning. Okay, then on Friday at 6:30 p.m. you got the Goodyear Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, or Arlington, or wherever that is they're calling that. You got the Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the Texas Longhorns. Interesting because this is almost a home game for Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Texas didn't play their best game Wednesday. They really didn't. They were really fortunate to beat Arizona State. They really were fortunate, and they get ready to play an Ohio State team that's like, man, if you look out there, they got NFL players all up and down the the lineup and whatever. Jeremiah Smith probably in 3 years. You got Ibuka, you got Junkins, you got Henderson. You got a bunch of NFL players on that team. Offensive lineman, defensive lineman, Sawyer. I think that's the linebacker's name. It's a bunch of dudes on that team. Now on the Texas, you got Quinn Ewers, and he's got some. What's the guy's name? Golden. He had a nice game against Arizona State. Not a fan of Ohio State, but man, the talent is too high. It's too much to overlook. Even though they're playing in Texas, in front of probably going to be a majority Texas. Going to be a lot of orange. Going to be a lot of this. Matthew McConaughey's going to be on the sideline. I guarantee you that. I got the Buckeyes, man.
Conventional thought, I won't say wisdom, just conventional thought says Ohio State from a but I don't know, man. Will Howard gives me pause for the cause.
Of course. So you
Um,
so you're saying you don't think he'd have back-to-back great games? Is that what you're saying?
that is what I'm saying respectfully. It's just I think there's always that looming potential that he's off.
Yeah,
The
just a little bit.
Texas,
Just a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Texas is gonna. I mean, it's gonna be a burnt orange party in there. They're gonna have it rocking.
Of course.
Um, Quinn Ewers is also a dude that I could repeat the same two sentences about
Yeah.
that I just said about Will Howard. So it's kind of like, but I'll say this: the concern was the way Scatterboo was able to impose his will, and I think that's what Ohio State does with their 1-2 punch with Henderson and Junkins. So I think with Ohio State being able to impose their will the way Arizona State was able to, unlike Arizona State, or at least to another level than Arizona State, they can go over the top. So that's where it becomes like, do you have anybody on that secondary that can do anything with Jeremiah Smith once Judkins and Henderson establish the run and make you respected? And now you're going over the top to 4. And I think Texas can collectively, with their talent base, match that energy, especially with the home field advantage in this scenario. But it's just a little torn, man. It's gonna be a good one. A
I'm
little torn.
about to I'm about to pull a TK here. Look for the matchup between either Jeremiah Smith or Emeka Ibuka against John A. Barron. John A. Barron is one of the top corners in this league. Look for that matchup.
I like that.
Look for that matchup.
Okay. Appreciate that.
John A. Barron. He's number 7. Number
Okay.
7 for the Longhorns. Look for
Well,
that
if they
matchup.
got
I
any
don't know if he can
sense,
cover him, but that's probably the best they got. And we're gonna I'm
they
gonna
got
see.
any sense, he'll be over there on 4. Number
Okay.
7. I'll be looking for him.
Yeah, yeah. Look for that matchup because I know a lot of times you look at the matchup of good on good. Sometimes you like to see that. Uh, so you ain't made your pick yet. You sitting on that
I
fence, man.
haven't, man, because I think Texas started this year out feeling like they were going to be better offensively.
Yeah,
Like Ewers was going to, really lead the charge, and they were going to have a top tier offense from a collective standpoint with all the talent they have. Um, I don't think they're that. And Ohio State's defense, granted, people love to argue, well, that always looks good until you play an SEC team. Well, they did play an SEC team, and they spanked the floor with Tennessee, and they spanked the floor with Oregon. So when you look at that, it's like honestly, those teams you could argue, or at least with Oregon, you could definitely argue those teams had better offensive output. And I got a feeling, man. I just got a feeling like hate to put this on the young man. I won't stop calling these young men kids. This young hate to put it on the young man, but it's got that feel like ooh, this might be that Will Howard game. It's a little stinky, man. Because as much as they may not be as ballyhooed, Texas defense is gonna compete too. So
Of course.
yeah, so if Texas defense is at its best, I'm going with the home team. We can go on Clash. I don't know if you got the bell, but we can go.
I don't have it set up today because I didn't think we are gonna fight on that. I ain't really fighting on that one because actually I would much rather see Texas win than Ohio State. I'm just looking at the talent. I'm like, dang, they got guys. And they got the kind of talent that if everything clicking, they can blow the game wide the heck open. That's what I
And that's the thing is like that's when I'm sitting here torn because that's what I'm thinking about. It's like my problem is that I know they have the potential to blow the game up,
right.
and my issue is that they've done it already, and so it's like did they kind of already shoot their shot with that?
Right.
Are they now due for like the lackluster performance coming at the worst time? Are they due for that? Because the way they wiped the floor with Oregon, I know Oregon had some fight in them and got back and made it a little interesting. But
Mm.
I mean, the way that game started, it was from jump. Ohio State just jumped on them.
Right out
And
the gate, man.
yeah, and it's like I know they got that potential, but it's just like it's in Texas, man, and it's like if Ohio's and I'm not saying nothing nobody hasn't already said a million times this year, but it's like if Ohio State had a different tier quarterback, this game is no question. But if Will Howard's up and down and that Texas defense is rocking and they're able to put together a couple stops here and there,
It could
it
be
gets tricky.
it could be interesting, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very reluctantly going to go Texas and say this game ends up being like a real weird outcome, just in terms of like it's like a bad play here and there that breaks it. Texas might blow it, then Ohio State might give it back, then Texas go and win it. Like I think it could be one of them type of games. It's gonna be fun to watch for sure. But as far as me trying to predict it, try to get a finger on it, it's like, I just I don't want to pick Ohio State, assuming that this version that we've seen is who's going to show up in terms of they are they really that dominant? I guess is what I'm saying. Are they really that type of dominant team, or did they have dominant performances because they have that much talent? So I guess it's me leaning into the fact that I don't know that they're that dominant of a actual team in real time, and maybe the performances they put together was just a matter of them just being able to impose their will in a way that maybe they just can't do that to Texas. With the caveat that again, if they can get that ground game going, it's gonna be a long night for that burnt orange. So
Yeah.
that's it, man. I think the trenches gonna decide it. Who's gonna win the trenches?
Okay. So you're picking Texas?
I'm gonna stay with Texas. I'll still stay on the opposing side, but it's a very reluctant pick. But it's literally a shot in the dark, man. I'm gonna go with the SEC on this one.
All right, man. Well, there it is. Uh, TK with his expert analysis and situational, analysis on that, man. So, yeah, it's gonna come down to a lot of little things, man. And we're just gonna see. As for these games, Penn State is trying to, win their first title since 1986 when they beat the Miami Hurricanes. I remember that. Jimmy Johnson was coaching them then, and Notre Dame is trying to win for the first time since 1988. Lou Holtz, and I remember that team. I think Tony Rice was their quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. And Texas is trying to win for the first time since 2005. Vince Young, who can forget the greatest college football game ever, that Rose Bowl in 2006, the 2006 Rose Bowl, one of the greatest games ever played. And of course, Ohio State's trying to win for the first time since 2014, win over Alabama. Um, whatever, Yeah.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott running for like 200 yards or whatever. End up playing for
Yeah,
my Cowboys, so
yeah,
that you know,
there it is.
that's
There it
that,
is, man.
yeah. So
You
I
eventually
got some
had to
I
come
got some benefit
around
out of
to
that.
yeah, for sure.
So we're
I
in
will say, man, I will say, because now I'm thinking about. I'm not changing the pick. I'm just thinking about it. Ohio State and Notre Dame, man. That's like really good for college football. If that's the final, like that's a great outcome. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Just as far as just being like two real story programs and going at it in the biggest game. I like that, man. I would love it. If that did happen, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it at all. I
yeah.
actually I would like either that matchup or like a Texas Penn State is like if one of those ended up being it, I'm for it. Like Texas Penn State or Ohio State and Notre Dame, man. I like that.
Right, right. We'll see, man, and maybe we'll get a cross sectional thing, like a Midwest West sort of thing, or something like that. Because you got what, three teams in the East and one in the South, sort of, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah,
Notre Dame, you
yeah.
got Notre Dame, Penn State, and Ohio State in the East, and all within like a couple hundred miles of each other in the Midwest. With Indiana.
Just don't give me Ohio State, Penn State. I don't want to see that for the
Yeah, because you
Super
see that every year. I done
Yeah,
seen that. I seen that earlier this year.
yeah.
I saw that.
Just don't give
I,
me
I,
that.
I saw that already. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, man, I hope y'all enjoy your football Sundays and your football Saturdays, your football Thursdays and Fridays with college. And when you like and you comment, subscribe, talk to us about your picks and tell us where we was off. Tell us where you thought we was experts, thought we was smart, and tell us where you thought we was idiots and didn't know what the heck we was talking about. And I promise you, we'll respond and tell you, hey man, you might be right, man. You might be right. What are the closing things you got, TK? As we close this videos out, and I'm probably gonna head to bed here.
Hey man, we closing the whole season out. Shout out to the NFL season, man. Next week
Yeah,
is playoffs. Shout out to all those guys. I can't do the math. What 53 times 32? Shout out to all them guys, man, putting their body and their livelihood on the line for the sake of the entertainment, man.
yeah.
Um, Shout out to the NFL as a whole, man.
About 1,700 people, man.
Yeah,
About 1,700 guys, man.
you know,
Y'all the best 1,700
and
people that do what y'all do, man. Can't
yeah,
nobody
yeah,
do what y'all do.
yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to all them guys, man. They put it in for another season. put the work in, and they gave us a lot to talk about, a lot to watch, be excited for. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them guys, man,
Right.
for another season,
Another season in
another
the books, man.
successful season in the books.
Everything go like it's supposed to go next Saturday. TK and I not gonna commit to no time because we have to do life things when life things come up and then we come on, but we're gonna try to come next week for Super Wild Card Weekend. That's what I think that'll be next week. Super
Yeah,
Wild Card Weekend.
it's gonna
But
be a
before
good one.
that, man, I want to tell you, just like I say every time, man, just close the book on the 2024 season. It's been a season with a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things. We've seen a lot of good things, a lot of injuries, a lot of great plays, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of field goals, a lot of great plays, a lot of silly plays. But this all goes in the archives of the NFL and what it tends to bring for us every year. So, and as I say every year, man, you'll be clamoring for it in June, July, August when they get here, and then before you know it, man, it's January, first week in January, and we're closing the books
Yeah, yeah,
and closing the books. So, 2024 is a done. It's a goner. It's out of here. All right. But anyway, man, enjoy your football Sundays, and we'll catch you guys for Super Wild Card Weekend next week. Will times to be determined. As I said before, please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. Guarantee you will not be disappointed. Catch you guys next week. God bless.